Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. It's Tuesday night, it's 9 p.m. Arsenal boys don't normally watch football at 9 p.m. on Tuesdays, but I'm joined by Luke and Gooner Express. How are we both doing?
I'm good, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. What about you, Gooner?
Well, the season's pretty much over, so good, because this season's been awful, but yeah, I'm good. How are you?
You've still Arteta out?
Oh, until the day he leaves.
I love it. Like, Gooner Express has literally been very consistent with this Arteta. It's like, I want him gone, and I want him gone now, and I will not be happy until he is until like the Twitter goes, Arteta has left his job with immediate effect. The forecast is over saying Arteta out. This is true. Arteta out. Where's Sauls nowadays? Sauls is obviously doing Ramadan. Now, I don't pretend to know everything about Ramadan, but I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to eat from sunrise till sunset.
It's if now will be breaking his fast round about
yeah,
now.
I was just about to say, looking outside my window, the sun is setting, so I think that means that Sauls is most likely breaking fast. He's also got Eid. I think, is it Wednesday or Thursday? One of the two.
Thursday, I think it is.
Thursday, yeah. So he's got Eid, which is basically our Christmas Day on Thursday. So obviously, and then after that, I think he's back to. I think it's back to normal. Jeannie saying, "What's Luke's reaction to Alchester winning?" I suppose we might as well start there. I don't know how relevant this is, but Manchester City confirmed winners of the Premier League. They're champions of England yet again. What's both your thoughts for that?
I'm not surprised, to be fair. They dominated the majority of the season. I couldn't see United clawing it back, especially with this fixture congestion. I don't really care. I don't really care about Manchester City. They're not a club that's relevant to me. They never will be a club that's relevant to me. So yeah.
I agree. I don't know how this is relevant, but it was a question. Gooner, what's your thoughts on City winning the league? I don't know if you have any thoughts on it.
Well, yeah, like Luke said, pretty much expected. I think from the beginning of the season, they started off a bit slow, but let's be honest, they were always going to win the league. The squad, and not even just the starting 11, their squad is too good.
Yeah, it's just the depth, isn't it? And depth in football. I've seen it with my boys that in every level of the game, you need depth, and it's the teams without the depth that normally hurt. Jeannie saying, "No, can I get backstage tickets, please?" I'd rather you stay on YouTube because selfishly, it really helps with my watch hours. So I'd rather you just stay on YouTube. To be fair, Wolf saying, "Spitting fire, exactly. Man City is irrelevant." Arteta in, my manager.
You're lucky, your manager.
I'm going to start with a question, right? And it's a question because I've got my views on it, and I've been quite vocal about it. Do you think if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Arteta swap jobs, so let's say Arteta took United and Ole took Arsenal, do you think Arteta improves or makes United worse? And do you think Ole improves Arsenal or makes them worse? Luke, we'll start with you.
I think Ole probably would improve us because he has what Arteta doesn't in man management ability. He you know, you're looking at Saliba. I don't think Ole loans out Saliba. I think he keeps him around, knows the experience that he needs. I can't see Arteta doing a better job. To be honest, he'd handle.
Can you see him doing a worse job at United though?
Yeah, yeah. Arteta would not have United sitting in second in the Europa League final. Not a chance. It's very clear now who is the better manager out of the two. It's very clear it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, I can't see Arteta doing a better job at that team than he does here. But you know, in Ole's case, I can see him doing. It's not hard to do a better job than Arteta. It's not exactly like Ole's going to have us sat mid-table. You have us up there, probably fighting for Europe at least.
I've always said if Ole's at Arsenal, he's got him in top 6 easily. I'll explain why I think that in a second. But Gooner, what do you think of that? What?
Well, yeah. I've said it many a times. I think Arteta is one of the worst managers in the Premier League. He's up there with Steve Bruce. He's up there with, your Chris Wilders and stuff. But I mean, yeah, I don't know how anyone can say that Ollie wouldn't be doing better or Arteta wouldn't be doing worse. I mean, we've seen it with Man United. They aren't actually that good. It's just those individual moments of brilliance. But I think they get more of them because of the man management. Ollie makes them feel better than they are. Whereas I think with Arteta, because his man management is so poor, our team has a very poor mentality already, and him not being able to man manage them just kind of increases the likelihood of that mentality seeping into games. And we've seen it so many times this season where the players just don't care. They have no interest.
I hear that. The reason I think Ollie does a better job at Arsenal is because look at United. He looks at their strengths and looks at their weaknesses and then covers up their weaknesses. Like there's a clear weakness at the back line with the two centre backs, pace wise. Well, what's Ollie do? Shoves two people in front of him who stop them being broken down so easily. He's actually quite smart. I was just a question that I was a bit curious about. Dom saying the jumper is meant to go over the basketball shirt. No.
You can wear it how you like, to be fair.
Dom saying United say no. Arsenal shouldn't have let Socrates go. I'm not sure how much Socrates improves Arsenal right now. And Dom saying how many cones in a minute can Arteta pick up?
He's probably got a pretty quick time, considering that seems to be all he was doing under Pep. Clearly didn't learn anything about how to be a fucking manager.
Wolf saying Miami Heat. But let's talk about Arsenal and not Arteta. Well, sort of Arteta. This first one is this is going to make you both head in hands. This is going to make you cry. We're not talking Villarreal. I think you know the Arsenal boys have suffered enough. Look, they got knocked out by Good Evening. Good Evening basically sat Arteta down and showed him what to do. And Arteta just took it like a little bitch. But to fix that, I can't believe I'm about to say this. There's reports in the media that Arsenal are looking at Moussa Dembele, a guy who has scored 1 goal in 22 matches, to replace leaving Lacazette. Luke, we'll start with you. How excited are you about that transfer?
It won't. The good thing is, I know it won't happen. We won't go for Dembele. We'll probably get in some fucking backup striker out of the back arse of Norway, because our transfer policy is just disgraceful. We know what we need. There's all this talk about players we're linked with and the money that we're going to be given. Is any of it true? Probably not. If we're going for a striker, Dembele, stay away from him. I've seen quite a few of his games. I don't rate him too highly. If we want a striker, I'd suggest someone like Weghorst off Wolfsburg. He's not young, but he's 6'6". He's a target man. He's a decent finisher.
What about Raul Jimenez?
Yeah, Raul Jimenez is a shout. We need.
If he can prove his fitness again, then he's a shout.
I don't really want us to go for like a. I mean, ideally, I wouldn't mind Edouard. Edouard's. I know he's quite young, but ideally, we don't really want a young striker, because we have 2 young strikers in Balogun and Martinelli, who's being trained into that number 9 role. So ideally, the only one who I'd take that's quite a relatively young striker would probably be Edouard. But in general, there are some other names out there, like Weghorst is a genuine option. But Dembele would just be a bit of a mistake signing, because I'm not a fan of him. I've never really been convinced by him.
If you sign Dembele, I'll make sure I get you on the stream for the transfer one. But Gooner, what's your thoughts of being linked with Moussa Dembele?
Well, yeah, he's crap. Let's be honest. The guy's not very good. He went on loan to Atletico Madrid, and he was still dropped by an aging Suarez. Like, come on.
Yeah. He's also got 1 goal in 22 games for them.
Well, exactly. There you go. He's a striker and he has 1 goal. That's worse than Lacazette does. And we all have a go at Lacazette. I'd rather keep Lacazette than sign him. But yeah, I agree. In terms of strikers, we should be looking at the likes of Weghorst are very good. Obviously, a lot of Arsenal fans keep bringing up the Bundesliga tax, which just doesn't exist. You know, Bundesliga players can be very good if you buy the right ones. Obviously, we bought Granit Xhaka, so we obviously bought the wrong players. But
Pulisic is very good.
Hey, exactly. Pulisic, you've got the likes of Kimmich and Goretzka, who are obviously some of the best in the world, and obviously Thomas Muller, etc. So, for me, that's just a way of basically, you know, not knowing enough about that league and those players, are using it as an excuse as to, you know, obviously not giving an opinion on them. But yeah, it wouldn't shock me if we signed Moussa Dembele, to be honest, because we always sign overrated players that aren't actually that good. You know, they're good on FIFA or Football Manager, but they're not actually good in real life. So I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I do hear that. Wolf saying Miami Heat. Wolf also says good evening. Breaking news: Willian has just signed for a 5-year extension for her £140 million.
Thank God.
Arteta ain't going nowhere under Conte. It's just going to get worse for the Gunner. Yeah, well, I think everyone's in agreement with that. You've not really said anything that's shocking. But yeah, no, I do hear that. But if you are new, please do leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. It does massively help us out. The next bit of transfer news, I haven't got a load, but I've got another bit. Arsenal are apparently interested, and this is just going to put smiles straight on your face, Luke. Ryan Bertrand is apparently a shout for left back. What a signing that'll be.
If I'm being honest, we need a backup left back, and if it's on a free transfer, I don't have any issues with us signing him. I think he's a decent player. I've watched a lot of Southampton this season, and he's been a very key player for them. When he's not there, they struggle a lot with trying to cover for him at left back. I think him and Kyle Walker-Peters have been key players for Southampton in a way this season. So honestly, as a backup to Tierney, on a free, the deal makes sense in every aspect. You know, he's got Premier League experience. He's only here to play backup. He's not going to be a long-term option.
The issue is with the amount of injuries Tierney gets, it's a good shout that Ryan Bertrand might become a full-time left back at Arsenal.
I don't know. I don't see it like that. I just see it as in my opinion, there are better options. There are players I'd rather get at left back to cover for Tierney, but I just can't see the issue of signing Ryan Bertrand on a free, you know, maybe to like a 2-3 year deal. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because he's only playing a backup part. So I haven't got any qualms with the deal, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I hear that. What about you, Gooner?
Again, it's a very Arsenal deal because it's going to be a free or very cheap. But again, I don't know if he's actually that good. I mean, Southampton look quite good, but they're 17th, so they're obviously not very good. And I get that's not solely his fault, but I just don't think he's good enough, even for backup left back. Because, like you've said, it's not like he's going to play 3 or 4 games a season. It's going to be upwards of maybe 15 to 20. So I think we need someone, who's as good as Tierney, if not better. It might even be wise to drop Tierney a second left back, because if he's going to be injured so much, you can't put that on him. So I'd look at someone like a Tagliafico from Ajax. He's linked with Leeds. If Leeds can purchase him, surely we can go and get him. And if we promise him a lot of football, why would he not come? He's a good player as well. He's younger than Ryan Bertrand. So, but again, he'll cost probably more than 10 million. So that's more than what the Cronkies are willing to spend, most likely.
Yeah, I do hear that. Arsenal can get Zaha, Grealish and Neves. That would hugely improve Arsenal, but I don't see that happening. Arsenal can take Martial if they want.
All right.
No thanks. No thanks.
It's bad. It's bad when Arsenal fans are rejecting Martial. That sort of suggests the player that he is. Bertrand is bigger than Arsenal. He won the UCL. I'm not sure how Ryan Bertrand would be bigger than Arsenal Football Club, but yeah. Ravi's saying Arsenal can't attract anyone special anymore. They can't get anything that will want to make players sign. No Europe and a dead manager.
Everyone says that, like it's not true. Like realistically, Arsenal is still a presence.
I get that. I think if we break down the comment a little bit, if you look at why players would come, firstly, the manager is going to be impact. He's a bit shit. Secondly, you have to really think, what sort of players are the Conkeys going to sign for Arsenal? That's really the question. And he sort of says it here where Arsenal never going to get any big players when they keep holding 2 dead centre-backs. I do
we've
hear
got
that.
more than 2. Got more than 2 dead centre-backs.
Or holding on to 2 dead players. I think he means just dead players in general, where you've got quite a few of them. Arsenal should go for Mitrovic. Not quite the player I think they need to take him forward. Southampton played good football, but they're 17th because they've been unlucky and injuries to key players. They're also, if you want to talk about a team with no squad depth, go check out Southampton. They have literally none. It was why Hasenhüttl was very keen on trying to get Brandon Williams on loan in January, because Brandon Williams would have been key for Southampton. But I want to talk about a goalkeeper. Obviously, last summer you sold Emi Martinez, and it appears that Bernd Leno, is now on the transfer list at Arsenal. This is arguably one of the worst decisions ever made at Arsenal, isn't it? The fact that you let Emi Martinez go, and now it looks like Leno's on the transfer list as well.
It doesn't make sense. It just looks so terrible on the club. We sold Martinez, who fits us perfectly, and now we're getting rid of the guy who we sold Martinez in order to keep. Like, that just makes the club look like an absolute fool, basically.
Yeah, no, I hear that. What about you, Gooner?
Well, at the time, I wanted to keep both. I wanted them to fight for their position. I think Martinez would have won. Again, in that FA Cup win, a lot of people say it was Aubameyang who won us it.
Yeah.
I'd actually argue it was Martinez. I think if Leno was in goal, I just don't see us winning those games against City and Chelsea. But yeah, I mean, what annoys me the most is I protected Leno when we kept him. As in, I said, yeah, Martinez is a different player now. He doesn't play for us. So why are we still trying to bring him up? And I would have kept doing that. But now he wants to leave. Now he has the audacity to say that he wants to walk away. That pisses me off more. That makes me think about it and actually say, why did we keep you in the first place? So I hope he leaves. He ain't good enough. I've said this for a long time, that he's never going to be good enough to play for us in a Champions League place or something like that. He's proved it this season. And yeah, but the one thing that worries me is if we do sell him, which is looking likely, who are we going to bring in? Because there's been no links to any goalkeepers other than Matt Ryan, but he's not good enough to play first goalkeeper every single game. And we're not linked to anyone else. So again, this is what worries me about Arsenal. We're just going to let him leave and we're not going to replace him. And we've done it with Cazorla, we did it with Sanchez, we've done it with Cesc. We just let players leave and don't replace them. And obviously, a goalkeeper is one of the most important positions on a pitch. So we need to go and get the right guy.
Are you thinking that they're probably just going to bring Matt Ryan in and give him the number 1 jersey?
If they do that, I'm going to be fuming. I think Matt Ryan is a good goalkeeper, and I would play him first choice right now. But you can't give him first choice goalkeeper. He's not good enough for that. He played for Brighton. We're trying to go forward. We need a Donnarumma or a Mike Maignan from Lille, but we're not going to do those deals because it's not even. I don't even think that's a monetary issue because they're not going to be expensive. We just don't. We don't look for those kind of players. Do you know what I mean? Like we always go for the obscure options that are always risky and they never pay off. Yeah,
no, I hear that. A couple of comments here. You boys lack threat and creativity. No, you've got the players for creativity. You just haven't got a deadly enough striker. You haven't got a striker that's going to bag you 20, 30 goals a season. And if you're one of the top 6 teams, you require a striker that is going to get you 20, 30 goals a season. I know United haven't, but they've got like a Bruno, Cavani, Greenwood, Rashford. They've sort of split the goals around them, and it's worked quite well for them. At Arsenal, that simply just isn't the case. And we're going to talk about something in a bit, but it's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. Ravi saying your best bet is to play Matt Ryan. What, for the rest of the season? Yes. For the rest of the season, why not? But as a long-term replacement for Bernd Leno, getting him Matty Ryan to do that is not going to improve Arsenal. It makes them weaker. It also says this current squad ain't good enough to even get top 4 anytime soon.
Yeah, no, obviously.
Well, no, if it had the right, I disagree with that hugely. Firstly, if you had the right manager in, you're top 6, right? If you then go get a right back, a striker that's going to bag you 20 goals a season, and a DM, you are top 4 quality then.
I think the problem is we have a striker that gets you 20 goals a season, but he's incredibly out of form in Aubameyang. He's had an absolutely abhorrent season, and sadly, it has cost the squad because, well, we don't have another player to. Well, Lacazette's been our player for goals this season, but normally Aubameyang will get you 22 league goals a season. This season, he struggled. Again, I can't pinpoint any reason why, but I still think we do need a striker. If Aubameyang's I don't know what Aubameyang's going to do differently to next season in order to improve. But I just can't. We need another centre back. Realistically, we need a backup left back. We need a midfielder to partner Partey. We probably need a winger, a left winger that's right-footed. If we're going to play Pepe on the right and inverted wingers, I don't think we should. But yeah, there's a few things we need in the summer, and this squad. Don't get me wrong, this squad is not 10th material. It's probably around top 6, but it's not with this manager. It's not going to be that because you can have a good squad, but if you don't have a decent manager, there's no point.
Yeah, no, I agree. What about you, Gooner? Do you think if you got in a right back, a DM and a striker with 20 goals in them, do you think you could get top 4 if you replaced the manager?
No. Actually, I don't know. It's difficult because it depends who you get as a manager. If we go and get someone like I've said Graham Potter a lot, but we don't know how good he is at a top level.
Okay,
yeah,
so
we're not top level, but
imagine if you didn't get Arteta, you brought in Angelotti, you got a right back, a DM, and a striker. Do you think you're getting top 4?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, look, everybody likes to say that Unai Emery this, Unai Emery that, he was crap, blah blah blah. That guy got us 1 point off 4 from the worst team, and I get that the likes of City and Chelsea have improved their squads from that season, but so would we. You know, we went and got Partey. Yeah. People need to remember, Unai Emery was the one who recommended Partey and Gabriel, but we didn't sign him. He didn't want Pepe. He wanted Zaha, and he went and got Pepe. They bought in Pepe instead. If he got the right signings, and if he got the right players, and then obviously got the likes of Partey in the season afterwards, he would have got top 4. So Ancelotti, 100%. If he gets a good right back, and I'd just say even that, just one right back and a backup left back, he could have done it. Because I bet he would have got Aubameyang scoring goals. I don't think Aubameyang's poor because of himself. I think Arteta is not using him correctly, and he's not getting the most out of him, like even Unai Emery did.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Velv saying not even that Hassan, who wanted Weston McKennie, Neco Williams, and centre back.
Wow. He wanted AWB. AMN. Sorry, Maitland-Niles.
You also wanted Brandon Williams. He was clearly looking around for depth at defence. You need someone to complement Partey defo, absolutely. Arsenal should sign Neto from Barca.
No, there's better keepers out there for probably better prices. I mean, Onana's available 7. If his appeal comes through in June or whenever it is, he's available for 7 million. So that's someone we should definitely be looking at.
Ravi saying the manager ain't going nowhere though. Board are backing him. I hear that. Nice try, but I'm not stupid. Loving the stream. Have you ever heard of Celtics youngster? And I'm not saying that name. Nice try though. Nice try.
He did it twice. He really wanted to try and be funny.
He really tried getting me there, but I had already said it out in my head. Gail, you know I want your. Love you. What
Dom singing to Ed Sheeran in the chat.
Oh, right. Okay. I don't know what Dom is doing. Awar price dropped. He is now available for 26 million. Yeah, that might be a shout.
Looking at, I'm not gonna lie.
Probably 16 million too expensive for the Quonkays though. Come on now, follow my lead. Maybe crazy. Don't mind me, say boy. Let's not. Dom is a funny guy. Oh yeah, you did try twice. Nice try though. Nice try. Mr. Pote is saying, I've heard that Saka put in a transfer request. Arsenal need money. Odegaard.
Two things that don't need to happen.
Is Saka put in a transfer request?
No, he hasn't. It's a lie.
I was just about to say, I don't know where that's come from, but if that had happened and I had missed that, I'd be a little bit surprised. I'm pretty sure Twitter would be going a bit mad. But as I say, do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Sauls, yes, lads. Big up to Sauls. It's systematic. It's hydromatic. Why is greased lightning? Dom saying Inshallah Sauls. Get Hassan, he'll improve Arsenal. Do either of you think that's true?
Yes, anyone would improve other than
there is that element. Arsenal dressing room needs Sean Dyche. Those players need to be scared. I also just think Sean Dyche probably improves you defensively. Smash the likes and subscribe. Come on, absolutely do that. Please follow that lead. Yes, Don, my brother, Inshallah. Luke loves a bit of Ed. Marcella Sauls, my brother. No idea what that means. Dom has been. Sauls has been teaching him. Dom saying, "What's the best drug you Arsenal fans have taken? You must be on something when choosing Arsenal as your team."
We used to be good once. Good.
How did you become an Arsenal fan?
Well, I never really actually grew up with football. Like I was kind of the only person in my family who actually enjoyed football. But obviously, I watched it, but I never really supported a team. But yeah, I just enjoyed watching Arsenal a lot more than anybody else. Obviously, the play, like watching Cesc play, and even watching older games like Henry and Vieira. It was kind of that. And then obviously the only positive thing through the years that I started supporting was Sanchez. That guy was incredible. And he's one of my favourite players ever.
So it was Wenger's lovely football that got you as an Arsenal fan, and then it just got worse and worse over the years.
Yeah, pretty much ever since I started supporting Arsenal, it got worse. So blame me, guys. Blame me for the downfall.
That's not a good shout. Velv saying Dom, and Dom saying Velv, you Gerthy Bucker. No, I don't know why it always ends up like this in my chats. I don't know. But this is very true. Wilshire made a comment a couple of days ago saying Arsenal are lacking proper Arsenal people. Would you agree with that comment?
Yeah, our owners aren't Arsenal people. Our manager, I don't know why anyone considers Arteta an Arsenal legend. He's about as much of an Arsenal legend as I am. Like, I don't understand. I don't get what this false narrative is about Arteta being a club legend, because he's not at all. We do need Arsenal people. We need, as much as I think it would be a bit of a risky choice to have him in charge. You know, you need players like, you need people, like Henry, Bergkamp, them people that have been at the club and actually have a love for the club, rather than Arteta saying, I love the club, because if he says otherwise, he's sacked. So, to be honest, we do need Arsenal people that understand the club and actually have a care for it, so we can maybe try and attempt to get out of this dismal period that we're in.
I hear that. What about you, Gooner? Do you think Wilshire's right there?
Yeah. Obviously, the people that Wenger brought in were never usually the best players available. They were more just the best players that fit the squad, the guys that had the mentality, the guys that were willing to work with the other players. You get what I mean? And right now we don't have that. You know, like the likes of Granit Xhaka, he's a clown. In training, he's a clown. Same for Bellerin. where you've got the serious players like Saka and Smith Rowe who want to try and they want to take things seriously. You've got the idiots like Xhaka and Bellerin who they always come to my mind who just piss about. And this is what I'm saying. When you look at the likes of Chamberlain when he went to Liverpool, he had to go on an 8-week fitness plan because Arsenal's training was nowhere near as rigorous. So they had to genuinely put him on a training plan just to get him up to fitness. And it's a piss take. We don't. This is what I'm saying. I think this is why we get so many injuries because we don't train hard enough. And when we play the more, difficult to play teams like Leeds, we can't hack it, so we get injuries. And again, you look at some of the training clips, and half the time we're just pissing about. So
yeah, that's the one thing. That's one thing I can't claim to ever do, which is watch your training clips. Maybe I ought to.
I try not to, but they always pop up somewhere. So
yeah. Oh, I suppose I don't follow Arsenal as closely as the fans. Wolf saying Arsenal needs to remove the cannons off their logo. Mad. Saul saying we need City people. Well,
we've already got one, and he's a mug. We don't need any more.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't get Pep's number 2. They don't tend to work out. Is Plymouth FC local now? Vancouver Whitecaps MLS is mine. Yes, Argyle is my local team. So that is the team I support. I was born in Plymouth, raised in Plymouth. And yeah, Home Park is my home. That I can't ever confess to being an easy ride. It's a bit like Arsenal sometimes. Oh wait, yeah, I'm the Arsenal owner. Welcome to Hassan Hu Ings, Diallo, and James Ward-Prowse to Arsenal. I actually think James Ward-Prowse does a good job at Arsenal, and big up to YBM. But the bit I want to talk about next is apparently Aaron Ramsey is unhappy.
Oh God.
And he apparently wants a Premier League return. Would you welcome Aaron Ramsey back to Arsenal?
No.
Never.
Sadly, as much as I love him, and I'll always love him, and I always admire him as a player, he's past it now. Let's not lie. I don't want past.
Yeah.
I don't want past play. I don't want Chesney either. People are talking about Chesney. I don't want Chesney. There are better keepers out there we can get. Like, everyone just needs to stop with the nostalgia bullshit now. It's getting boring. There are barely any ex-Arsenal players I would take back at the club. That genuinely served us for a long time. Ramsey, Sanchez, Ozil, any of these lot. I wouldn't take any of them back now because all of them are just past it.
No, there's that element of looking forward. Saul saying Pep's number 2 are the most sought after managers. That's false statement. How many of them have gone on to do good jobs?
Ten Hag, he's one that pops to mind. To be fair,
so that's one.
Well, I can't think of any other Pep assistants.
So out of all the assistant managers Pep's had at all of his jobs, one.
Yeah, let me do one.
One. Okay. One. That's cool. IBM saying, as a West Ham fan, I know about bad owners. Actually feel for you guys. That's fair. Just killed a man, put a gun to his head, pulled the trigger, now he's dead. Goodbye, everyone. I gotta go. Bye-bye, Dom. Bye-bye, Dom. Arsenal should take Mickey back. Mickey? Who's Mickey? Is that a nickname for someone?
Oh, yeah. Mkhitaryan, I think he's on about.
Oh, Mkhitaryan. Would you take? No.
No.
No, not a chance.
When you've got Saka, Pepe, Martinelli, don't think Mkhitaryan's quite what you need. Luis Enrique. Okay, so two out of all the assistants he's ever had have gone on to do a good job.
Well, one of them is the assistant of Hansi Flick, which I guess is better than being ninth for Arsenal. So
it's true. YBM Buendia, I think would be great for you guys. Yeah, it's very uncertain though if he'd do a good job. Mkhitaryan, no. Tito Valnova before he passed away. I can't confess to know who that is.
To be fair, Pep's. It's not like Pep's going to have had many assistants because he's not been. It's not like he's been.
Yeah,
he's had
I suppose so.
lots
Maybe his assistants are good, and he's just found you've stumbled across the worst one. His hairline is world class. What Mkhitaryan's? Unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree.
Sign
Would be a class on it.
Sign Matthias Pereira from West Brom. He'd be a good signing. That's I hear that. He had 4, 5, and 4 big names. Cool. Okay, so basically what's happened is he's got a fair few good assistants. Most of them have done a good job. Arteta's just a forward. That's nice to know. YBM saying in the position you're in, you got to take a risk. Like Willian, look what happened. Boring signing. Yeah, I think a lot of Arsenal fans would agree that more risks do need taken. They do. So we've done that one. Steve Bruce wants. It's okay. Steve Bruce is not linked with the Arsenal job before anyone has a heart attack. Steve Bruce saying he wants Willock permanently. Would either of you be happy to sell Joe Willock to Newcastle, or do you think he can still do a job at Arsenal?
No, you can have him.
I'm not sure. I'm still really not too sure yet. I don't. It's really hard for me because I feel like we should probably cash in on him while we can, because it seems like these sort of teams are kind of his level, like with Newcastle and all that. I think he's a decent player, but that's decent at best is all I can say when it comes to Willock.
Yeah, no, I hear that. What about you, Gooner? Do you want Willock back, or do you think he's just found his level at Newcastle?
I think Willock's a very similar player to a Minamino and a Lingard, where they've kind of not found their level, as to say, but them going back to their parent clubs, who were obviously bigger clubs, it just makes more sense for them to stay where they are. Obviously, Willock's staying at Newcastle, where he's doing well. Minamino's doing quite well at Southampton. And we all know how good Lingard's doing. So I think for the betterment of their careers and for the betterment of their parent clubs, sell them off for 20, 25 million, or maybe more in Lingard's case. And then obviously use that money for more important things. Like Arsenal, we need a keeper, a right back, a backup left back, a few more midfielders, a striker. I'd use that money somewhere else.
No, I do hear that. I do hear that. The last question before obviously we do go on to a quiz. What do you want to see? What would be a successful transfer window for both of you? What be successful?
Oh, what do you want us to do? Positions or players?
Just a bit of both, really. So sort of like,
all right,
namely
I'll let you go
position
first.
and the player.
I'll let you go first because I still need to think of it.
Well, a successful window, go get Haaland and I'm kidding, obviously, but that would be nice. But for me, a successful window is sorting out every single issue straight away. If we sign, say, 2-3 players this season, 2-3 players the next season, we're just going to fall behind because we're seeing it already. Chelsea, City, United, they go and solve all their issues in one window and then they succeed the season afterwards. So we're just going to keep getting behind. So for me, I want a right back. I want somebody like a Baku from Wolfsburg or even an Emerson Royale from Real Betis. We need a new keeper. Again, I'd love Mike Maignan from Lille. A backup left back, whoever that is. That's a difficult position to predict who we're going to get. And then I want some more midfielders. I want Samare from Lille, but it looks like he's going to go to Leicester. And if he goes to Leicester, their midfield has to be one of the best in the league. And Didi, Tielemans, Maddison, Samare, that's insane. But yeah, I want him. I want someone like a Renato Sanchez maybe as well. And then a striker, whether it be Edouard, Tony. Tony's been insane. I think people are sleeping on Tony. That guy's
41 goal contributions this season.
It's the most any player's ever had in the Championship. I think he's beaten Tarat. Obviously, we all know Adel Tarat had the best season in the Championship, but Tony's got to overtake him. Like this season he's had is insane. To be honest as well, he has. We've seen how good Watkins has been. He hasn't been amazing, but he's been relatively good for Villa. He didn't do that well in the Championship. So hopefully Tony can do even better.
I think the reason people sleep on the Championship is because they think the Championship is of poor quality. If anyone actually took
the competition in that league is
if anyone took the time on that Saturday morning where, so if you don't watch the Premier League game and you choose the Championship game, you will see a better game in terms of, you will see a much more competitive game, and you'll see the quality of some players in that league. There are some excellent players, but Luke, what about you? What would be a successful window?
Well, just one thing on the Championship. Did you see their relegation battle? It literally went until the last day, and there was a 3-3 draw between the two teams that both needed a win.
It didn't get settled until the second half as well. It wasn't like one of these where it's gone to. It's not like one of these that it's gone to a final day, but you know what's going to happen. It genuinely was
it's
unbelievable,
brilliant league to watch. But see, the other day I made how I think there's a realistic, not a realistic, but kind of a what I expect and a kind of what I'd like. So what I'd like is a new keeper in my nan from Leeds, or even what's his name? Onana. Onana would be a good shout. A new right back I'd go for Baku off Wolfsburg or Max Aarons off Norwich. I'd actually go for a centre back. See, my choice was Lewis Dunk because I think he's not young. He's 29, I believe. He kind of he'd in a way be able to teach Saliba a little bit. He's a good centre back. He's not too young either, so it's not like he's going to be hindering Saliba's development. Backup left back, I like Rico Henry off Brentford. I think he's quality. Sumare or Basuma in midfield, either one. I think we need Buendia off Norwich. Buendia is an absolute fucking baller. Him and the number 10 would be quality. Or you could even go for Hossein Aouar off Lyon and Edouard up front, 100%. But the more realistic one is we'd only get a right back, a keeper, a 10, and then a centre midfielder. So like a Mazraoui off Ajax, I believe he plays for. He's a decent little player. Onana or Hainan, one of the two in goal. Basuma or Sumare in midfield, and then number 10, a shout would be Rodrigo de Paul, because he's a decent little player, tidy little player, but not many people talk about him. But I think if we can't go for one of these big 10s like Buendia or Maddison, even someone like that, then we should definitely be looking at a player like de Paul. But it's more like what I expect versus what I think would happen is the realistic option.
Yeah, no, I do hear that. Some comments here. YBM saying, so what, you waste 25 mil, you wasted 75 on Pepe? No, I think, take more risks. I think everyone's in agreement with that. Sergio Willa can use money to sign Aouar or Renato Sanchez. Renato Sanchez is way overhyped, right? Way overhyped, right? Aouar, go get Aouar, but Renato Sanchez is not the player that everyone keeps making him out to be.
I'd actually disagree on that. I'd say it's the other way around.
Really?
Sanchez at Bayern Munich was whatever else, and when he went to Swansea, he was a flop. But at Lille this season, him and Sumare in midfield have been incredible. Like them two together are kind of what's pushing that title.
That's in the French league. Do you think he could do it in the
I agree. I agree. I don't. Obviously, no one knows if he can do it in the league, but by that logic as well, this is where I go against Aouar. He's in the French league and he's still underperforming. Like he is. He's scored, I think, he's got like 11 goal contributions in the French league, and for an attacking midfielder who plays left wing, that's less than Pepe. So, I don't rate Aouar that highly, but I get what you mean. I think Sanchez, he's difficult to predict. We've seen him in the Premier League and he flopped, but
different player
now when he flop again.
I suppose that's the beauty about football. Everyone has different opinions. But not everyone has to be right. That's also the important one.
I mean, if we're looking at midfield options from Lyon, I think that Bruno Guimaraes would probably be a good shout as well, because I think he's a very underrated player.
Luke,
the reason he's underrated is because he's in the same midfield as Aouar, and everyone talks about Aouar.
Are you saying that because his name is Bruno and you're hoping it's a bit like Bruno Fernandes?
No, I just think he's actually. I watched him quite a bit last season. I've watched him a bit this season. I think he's a very, very tidy player as well. You know, I can see where Gooner's coming from. He is quite overhyped in that sense. But listen, we know he's a good player. For 26 million, it wouldn't be the worst signing to make, is all I can say, really.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Valve saying Minamino is different. Klopp tried to implement him as a false nine. It hasn't worked. Minamino is good on the wings. Championship games are competitive. Look at the players that have come up. Mount, Grealish, and soon to be Harvey Elliott. Yes, and also don't sleep on League One, because that is naturally, as the Premier League is very competitive, naturally the Championship's very, very competitive. It has been for many years. That competitiveness now seeps through. Look at some of the teams in League One. You've got Sunderland, you've got Portsmouth, Ipswich, Charlton, Argyle. Like there's a lot of big teams in League One as well. So don't be surprised if some Premier League teams start looking at League One and going, is there some decent players in here that we can nab? Because that's naturally, as the Championship and the Premier League gets more and more competitive, naturally League One will also become more competitive. Naturally League Two will as well, and it will just help the entire football pyramid just become better, especially if these teams like Argyle, where we're producing now good youth academy prospects. If we continue doing that, naturally you'll just see a vast improvement in quality within the English leagues. More money for all the teams, more money for all 92 teams in the Football League means better quality players for everyone. That's a fact, because naturally the teams at the top will have to work harder to be better, and the teams at the bottom will work harder to become the teams at the top. It's actually perfect. It's why the Super League would have been absolute carnage and completely trash. But it is that time of the week for the quiz, which I'm sure everyone is massively excited about. Now, I did have to rush this, so it's not as difficult, I don't think, as some of the ones we've ever done. But it's still fairly difficult. And obviously, every team will have this type of quiz now, just to be fair. But as I say, you get a point for the score, the competition, and the exact year. You get a minute to look at the pictures. Are we both ready?
Yep.
So, picture number 1 is this one.
Okay, that's... Ooh, what year is that? I feel like might be 06, 07. Or it might be a bit earlier. So 6, 07, or 05, 06. It's not 05, 06. Is it? It's the blue kit that's getting me. That's why. The blue United kit.
United had a blue United kit for quite a while as well, didn't they? This is hard. Oh, is it? I didn't even think I did it that hard. That's
probably just me being stupid.
That's that one.
Gooner, you got any idea? Oh,
he might have nipped away for a bit.
No, I was muted. I just realised that.
Oh,
can't believe that. Anyway, I think it's 010-11 because it's when Henry returned to the Emirates, and I want to say it's 1-0 Arsenal against Man United in the Premier League in 2011. So 2011 Premier League 1-0 Arsenal United.
You looking that in?
Yeah, I'll go for that. Yeah.
Okay, and your next picture is this one.
That's 07, 08, is it, or is it 06, 07?
No, that's way earlier. That's way earlier. Yeah, that's no. Because 07 would have been, we had
Oh, is it 04, 05?
It's one of them seasons for sure. I think it might be.
And then it's Chelsea. And that's at the Bridge, I think, isn't it? Or is it Chelsea?
I think that's the Bridge.
Yeah, it's the Bridge because I think it is.
04, 05. I can't remember this.
10 seconds to go.
Was it a draw?
I feel like we drew 0-0. I think it was a 0-0 draw. 2005 Premier League.
You locking that in?
That's what I think. I mean, I'm not sure what Gooner thinks, but I'm fairly certain we drew 0-0 that season.
I want to say it's 2-2 because if it's 05-04, I think Henry scored one. He scored in that game at least once.
If it was at the Bridge, if it was at Stamford Bridge, I think we drew that game 0-0.
Yeah. Oh, I might be thinking at the Emirates then. Yeah. Go with that. Go with 0-0. Whatever you say.
0-0 05.
I'm thinking of the Emirates
Premier League.
So picture number 3.
That's the same season, is it not?
I would say so. Yeah.
Because of the
blue kit. Yeah, it's the away kit. Yeah, because the third kit I think was the yellow kit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's who.
Is that Liverpool?
Yeah, it's Gerrard, isn't it?
It's gonna look like him. Well, no, it was at Anfield.
I think I know this one.
Which was
Premier League. I think it was 2-1 to Liverpool. I think Vieira scored, but then they scored. Was it like last minute or like
last
10
minute?
Minutes
Yeah, it was last minute.
Yeah, I'd say 2-1 Liverpool,
2-1.
Arsenal, Premier League,
2004.
Yeah, 04.
Okay, and your next picture is this one.
Ooh.
It's
against City.
Okay, I think that's one of the 06, either 06, 07 or 07, 08, because we have the golden stripe down. I'm fairly certain it's 07, 08 because we have the stripe down our shirt.
Didn't we have the same kit for both those seasons, or the home kit?
Yeah, we had that's golden stripe.
Yeah, the gold. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I think it's. I want to go with 07, 08.
I think the difficult one. This one is determining which bleeding season it is.
I want to go for 07, 08. I feel like it'll be that one. Because of the City kit. They had a weird kit in 06, 07.
10 seconds to go.
Who is that shooting? I can't make that out who it is. I think we won. I want to say we won.
Yeah.
No.
It was. I think that was Fabregas, wasn't it? 1-0.
1-0.
It looked like. I wanted to say it was Fabregas, but I couldn't tell. But I think it was.
It looks a bit. Yeah, Fabregas. 1-0. 2007. Premier League.
Premier League. Yeah.
Okay, and your last picture is this one.
Well, it's against Spurs. It's against Spurs.
It's one of the. It's kind of the similar. It's one of the two 06, 07 or 07, 08 seasons. But which one? I'm fairly certain it's 07, 08.
I don't know. Oh yeah, it's the gold strip. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I see that.
And it's at their ground. I feel like we may have won this game. I feel like Adebayor scored like 2 or 3 goals and we won like 3-1.
Yeah, I think it's 07, 08.
07, 08, 3-1. I know Adebayor scored at least 2.
10
maybe
seconds
around.
Yeah, I'd back 3-1, and then 2007, I'd say.
Okay, so there's no comments there. So the first one was Arsenal 2, Manchester United 1 in the Premier League in 2007.
Oh,
The second one was Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0 in the Premier League in 2005. The third one was Liverpool 2, Arsenal 1 in the Premier League in 2004. The fourth one was Manchester City 1, Arsenal 3 in the Premier League in 2008. And the last one was Spurs 1, Arsenal 3, Premier League 2007. So this week, Arsenal end up with 11 out of 15.
wait, was that a City game? Were we away for that one? That looked like the Emirates.
That's what's throwing me off.
No, I'm pretty sure. I haven't got the picture. I'll have a look. I'm pretty sure it was at the Etihad. That's why I've got written down here.
Because it was Fabregas scoring a golazo.
Oh no, well it was at the Emirates, but I've just got them written down. Let me have a look.
I was going to say, I'm sure it was 1-0 because
we beat him 1-0 at the Emirates that season.
yeah,
Fabregas
scored
around like 10 minutes, 11 minutes left or something like that. So I'm fairly because it said Fly Emirates at the bottom as well.
I swear Joe Hart played in the away game at the Etihad, and that was Schmeichel in goal, I think.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up now.
Images.
This is when they were so shit. They had like fucking Richard Dunn as centre half and Michael Richards and stuff like that.
Well, your website has used that picture for. It says it here. They've used. Let me put it on me full screen. They've got that picture from the Emirates.
How could we have lost 1-3-1 away at the Emirates? So that's what
2008. No, you won. I think that's at the Etihad then.
That doesn't look like.
I used a picture from your website, so if you've got a problem, contact Arsenal Football Club.
I'm just.
But no, it's in your. You did beat them at the Emirates 1-0, but that is, in fact, at the Etihad. See, I knew I was right. But anyway, we've got to wrap up because I've got a preview to do at 10 p.m. But everyone watching, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. As said, next up is the Arsenal-Chelsea preview. That's coming up next. But before we do go, Luke, where can they find you, mate?
Luke KFC on Twitter.
100%. And Gooner, where can they find you, bro?
On YouTube at the Gooner Express, and then on Twitter at Gooner Express _.
100%. And all links are in the description. So there's no excuses not to go check out everyone that is on here. But until then, thank you for watching. As I said, we're back in about a minute's time. So until then, thanks for watching, and we